Hello, my dear students. Introduction to the major. Practical class number 10. Well, how practical? We are talking about history of aviation. Now, no practical task for you. Once again, remind you, practical task will be about technology in one of the next practical classes. Right now, we're talking about airplanes. What is in front of us in the screen? Some seconds of, I don't know how to describe these feelings even. It's airplane. Don't believe me? Look at this. It's airplane, but this airplane of very unusual design, unusual concept, and those airplane you already have seen partially of the same author, but not this exactly. You already have seen some of his projects. I'm already talked about them. But before we come back to this author, to this designer and original scientist, and moreover, he was known in our country. He wasn't known in our country. Practically, he was unknown to people, and he was secret designer. His work were the subject of the highest mystery, let it be, security. They were the subject of highest security, top secrets, classified, however you call it. But by results of his work, some unusual projects of airplane been designed and really created. They've been flying. And on the ground of his work, that work was continued, and not only in our country. The name of this designer is Bartini, Roberto Bartini. No, maybe for you it's not sound so weird that it's not typical name for Slovenic people. Yes, because he was not Slovenic, he was Italian. No, first we will talk about another matter a little bit. We will talk about of airplanes, about vehicles of high capacity, of high lift capacity. And I have prepared here some movies for you. Do forgive me, immediately before class, computer decided to restart, let's say. And maybe something I have lost once again been trying to open. Mostly I will try to show you what I meant. That will be the video about event in America. Now, this event happened in 2019, 5 years ago approximately. I hope it will work properly. And maybe I need to reduce sound. I haven't found it with English subtitles, do forgive me. It's BBC site, and I didn't know how to copy this video, so I just saved the screen altogether. What do we see right now? It's called Strata Launch. Strata Launch airplane. You see twin body airplane with 6 engines, normal twin fuselages, seems like, but very long center wing, very long place between this twin fuselage. What is weird? Maybe it's on some purpose made. And what they do in this video, they compare it with the Mria. Mria is Antonov 2225 airplane, 225. Remind you, by now it's already almost 3.5 years does not exist because the only copy was destroyed not far from Kiev. And it was produced in Soviet Union in 1.5 amount, let's say, because one was produced and been in used, but another one was about to finish when Soviet Union has disappeared, and after this project been continued sometimes. Ukraine tried to finish this airplane, but really he wasn't finished. Because in Russian, in Ukrainian, in our Slovenic languages, we call it самолет, but I probably hear like in English movies about airplanes. Americans, Great Britain, they call it she, airplane, she. Whatever, he, she, it, let's talk about. You see, they compare Mria and Stratolaunch, and obviously Stratolaunch much longer in span, much wider, uh, around 90 meters and around 120 meters, almost 30% longer. Next, lens have compared the Mria and Stratolaunch. Also, difference is, but now Mria is winning. It's longer. And capacity. What I showed you this video for, because I'm going to show you next some photo and to explain something, and I ask you to keep in mind some values. I don't like to remember values actually, but I ask you now to remember some values because it will be necessary. Mria may lift. That is the greatest, the heaviest ever airplane, the most capable airplane being designed and really operated. Mria was able to lift 600, you see, 40 tons. And Stratolaunch is not so capable. It doesn't matter right now. A little bit less, around 10%. Engines have compared, and so on. And finally, they agree that Mria is the longest and the heaviest, and Stratolaunch is the widest no, the longest span, the longest wing out of existing airplanes. That was that was Stratolaunch airplane. Here is comparison of them. You see, Mria and Stratolaunch. But they are not much similar, to be frank. Also, that is American project, you understand. That is Soviet project, that is American project. And also, I met sometimes one interesting concept, rather similar to Mria, but it's not Mria. It's American C5 Galaxy twin body, and now it's became obvious why they need this wide span, wide center wing between two bodies, between two fuselages. Moreover, if we open if we try to find something in internet like C5 twin body, do forgive me, where is it? Here is, maybe. Да, C5 twin body. We will meet not only this concept. It's appeared that Lockheed has developed some concepts, and one of these concepts was rather similar to Mria. No one of them was realized really, and now it's obvious what they are going to be used for. Actually, such airplanes, such heavy machines, they are necessary not even for transportation of cargoes. They are considered time to time like flying airfields. No, and of course for their capacity to carry high high values of cargo because they are high lifted airplane, high lifting, and once again. It was realized project Mria in Soviet Union. In 20 years approximately, it was realized this Stratolaunch. And to be frank, when I've been watching this Stratolaunch airplane, each time I have such feelings that I've seen it already somewhere. And what I have found when I've been watching it for first time, 5 years or 6 years ago, in our old textbook, I have found, what do you see at the top? Look at this, look at that. It's not the same, certainly, it's not the same, because this one has tandem stabilizer. It's not quite the same appearance of fuselage. It's another project. But what this project? Actually, that is at the top 20 years before Strata launch. That is the project which is called Molnia 1000, either Heracle or Hercules in Greek and Latin, not transcription, but translation. Greek to Latin. Hercules and Heracle is the same mythological hero. And Molnia, it means lightning in our languages. And this project, which is very similar to this spaceship Strata launch, this project is also was purposed for transportation of heavy vehicles. What on this side you see, it's already not real one at all, not realistic. It's neither our Heracle, not the American Galaxy twin body. It's something unbelievable at all, with how good dozen of engines. But that one was completely designed and stopped at some moment because it's a period it's technologically not possible to produce it. Once again, remind you, it was 35 years ago practically when it was stopped, because then we have no materials and technologies of producing such materials that been light enough with the appropriate strengths. The materials that have specific strengths higher than some value. And in case such fantastic materials for that period been existing, maybe it would be realized in real flight. But in 30 years, these materials has appeared already. These materials are they are called carbon. No, we call them carbon glass, carbon fiber, and in American and English classification, carbon polymer, CF, CFPM, something like this. Carbon fiber polymer material, something like this. Cifro. It's necessary to check. I already not remember. You see. No, it comes about the composite materials made of carbon fiber of different type. And now these fantastic structures comes in reality, you understand. Well, and let's see what do we have next. Actually, I should say that this idea of launch, exactly of launch or exactly of transporting another air vehicles to the place of their work or to the place of their launch, its idea, it's not new. Let me to show you that one. It's period of our Great Patriotic War, as we call it, or Second World War. It's in a period from 1941, 1943. This project have existed. It's what do you see here? You see big bomber, what middle one, and 5 airplanes which are over the wing, clumped to it, under the wing, and even under the fuselage. They are called parasite fighters. And that was one of the first projects when another airplane transit little airplanes, like fighters, for instance, to the place of their work. In case a range of fighters it's little, they may only go to the place they are going to work, for instance, and they can't come back. Or not compulsory fighters, maybe. Here may be little bombers also. That one is strategic bomber, and those are so-called front bombers. And as little ones, they are not able to come back after fulfilling the task. Either they have choice to die there at the place, or it was made another decision to create airplane, to create additional elements, additional features in airplane, which able to bring them to the place of work And after they unjoin from the carrier airplane, they will come back home. No, in case lucky are, they will come back home already on their own wings. And that project officially it was called Project Звено, something like link of the chain, no, let it be chain. But in our literature, it's usually called flying circus. Flying circus of Вахмистров. Вахмистров, it's a family name of the man who been commander of this group of airplanes, of this avia detachment. So idea is not new, and parasite fighters next been developed some airplanes able to carry parasite planes. Wait a second, parasite. As I said, you something has disappeared. I hope artificial intelligence will not. No, what that one? This little creature, goblin. Maybe we have already seen it today. Not today, in previous class. Sorry. And that you see what I've been explaining about Soviet airplane, TB3, Звено. TB, it's heavy bomber. If to translate this abbreviation to English, it comes about the heavy bomber. And another parasite fighters, they are from America. Parasite aircraft. What you see different even before our flying circus, someone else has proposed the same decision. As you might see, big airplane as flying boat, and at the top of them is another airplane, parasite, so-called airplane. Well, let's come back to slides for a while. And once again, I already have shown you in another set of slides in our previous classes. You have seen that picture. I hope you already good remember well. I mean, and this picture it's Ekranoplane. And I said you that as our country, our former country, Soviet Union, had priority in developing of such devices. No, at least looks like this. Due to this, it's exactly Slavonic name came to the English language and became the name of the whole class of the airplanes. Whether the airplanes or not, it's a question. Let's try to see. And now also in English you may meet it with another designations, and these another designations they are abbreviation ground effect vehicle GEV and WIC. Wing near the ground, something like this. Wait a second. Don't know how to, do forgive me, how to steal it. Was not able to do it. And what you see this GAV and weak and ground effect. A short video to you, literally a couple of minutes. I even increase the sound, maybe you will hear it. No, that we will not discuss, certainly. I mean, only to show you some animation, let it be, and some popular scheme actually by means of this video, and to show you the most famous, let's say, Ekranoplane here. It's Ekranoplane, you see, Caspian Monster. It was called Caspian Monster by the name of Caspian Sea in Soviet Union, and this creature was spotted, let it be, it was spotted, it was watched In a photos from not NATO, North Atlantic, да, in English also NATO. In NATO spying satellites, let's call it like this. And they made some snaps, they made some photos, and these photos was sent to appropriate places in their country, and whole the Ministry of Defense in America was terrified what these crazy Russians has invented, because it was not clear. It was of huge size. It looks like an airplane, but it was of huge size, and obviously it was something dreadful. This one we see they rather little, pleasant, and no, doesn't look dangerous actually. Oh, not that one. Where I left that video that I meant to show you. Ah, here is. I downloaded in TikTok and going to use TikTok. Ой, that one. But in this case, I will remove sound. Sorry. Now you see, do imagine that from satellite something like this was spotted. And certainly it's no, that one, it's already not the Caspian monster, it's another one. It's the last out of this battle Ekranoplanes. And you see the launch of missile, and this missile maybe even with nuclear warhead, I mean. And do imagine the terrified people who watch something like this of huge sizes, and it's not clear how enemies, because Russian, Soviet Union, Russians for America were enemies, and it was not clear how they going to use it. Now we see, no, it's Ustinov. We not see designer of these machines. These machines been created not by Bartini. These machines, they were created in another design bureau. In design bureau, which actually been involved, dealt with creating of sea vessels, and in understanding of no, in modern understanding, actually such airplanes, at least those airplanes that been designed, it's something intermediate really between airplane and ship. And despite their similarity to airplane, they are not flying high. I already said it sometimes that they able to lift high value of cargo, heavy cargos, but only to the heights, no, maybe 9, 15 meters. They do it efficiently over the flat surfaces. In this case, they create something like additional sucking effect, like the sort of air cushion under their wing and blended fuselages, in case they use blended fuselage scheme. And in this case, they create additional lift uses due to this not high altitude over the ground. No, quite clear they can't be used like simple airplanes, but for military purposes, it's something outstanding at all. Do you imagine they are able, at the one hand, they are able to move, to transport very heavy cargos of high overall sizes, of great overall sizes. It comes about some hundreds, like 700s, 800s of paratroopers, not paratroopers, but some some soldiers, let it be, inside, uh, and additionally some mechanical vehicles inside, and additionally it's maybe armament with missiles or some another weapon, something dreadful. And what is the worst in this machine, that as they are flying not high, no, literally they are not able to fly high, but this peculiarity that they are not able to fly high make them invisible, practically invisible for watching systems, for radars. And such a monster may fly over the sea. On one hand, it's not hearable like sea, for instance, ship. It's not notable like sea ship by specific noise it's creating in the water. On other hand, it's not notable on radar, and it may fly rather fast, no, around 600 kilometers per hour, in contrary to normal ship, which is sometimes more slowly. And such a monster may appear near the coasts of someone, of another country, of another continent, during some hours. Of course, it's dreadful machine. Well, and how this dreadful machine has appeared at all, and who initiated their development? No, besides of, I said you, it was something like couple of competitive design bureau. On one hand, it was design bureau of Alexeyev, uh, that was in subordination to sea transport ministry in Soviet Union, and on other hand, it was design bureau of Beriev in Taganrog. They already were aircraft design, airplane design bureau. And let's try to see that slide that we need. Here is you see airplane with designation VVA-14. It's quite a real airplane. It really exists. It has testing flights in terms that it was not used neither in army nor in passenger lines, but it's flight more than 100 of hours, and all those flights were successful. So it has proven the efficiency, let's say, and moreover, this weird structure of airplane. I will explain you a little bit about what it looks like really, and we'll try to show you another photos. And even I think I have video. It should be opened also right now somewhere. And this airplane was created under guidance of Bartini. You see right now here Horace di Bartini, or another name of him, Robert Ludwigovich Bartini. So Roberto Horace di Bartini or Robert Ludwigovich Bartini. He was born practically at the last year of 19th century. When First World War starts, he was around 15 years, and he was born in, it's called Austro-Germany Empire. Now it's a territory, not Italy, actually, but he's considered Italian because his parents were Italian, and they were of Italian nobility, noble people, and father was a baron. But the truth is that his parents never been married. And at the first years, he was considered the sort of bastard, as it's called in Europe. And actually, he was taken to their father family and lived together with his father in his family up to some age. No, maybe he was not much happier being a child, because practically he lived without mother, with stepmother and father. No, maybe that was the reason that he tried to find some another destiny for himself, that he not striving to come back home when he has some heavy periods in his life. Once again, he was Italian baron, but this Italian baron, these noble people who lived in rather wealthy family, for some reason he was interested in, let's say, in ideas of socialism, communism, revolutions, and so on. No, and that was the period of technological revolutions, changes in technologies, changing in technology, appearing of airplanes, and period of appearing of new countries, because country been warrior with each other, periods of revolution, so on. So this young man was impressed with all of this, both with airplanes and with revolution. And next, when he was forced to go to the army. Quite clear, it was army of Germany. It's not fascist Germany. Once again, remind you, it was First World War. And he's appeared in Russia, in Russia Empire, but as military, no, taken on the military battlefield. Forgot the word. Sorry, may change check it. He was taken as a soldier of enemy army and lived at the Siberian territory somewhere in special camp for such people. He lived for some years, been working hard, quite clear, and next went back to Italy. But literally in couple of years he went back again to Soviet Russia. It was 1924th year. And since 1924th year, he joined to some scientific organization, to design bureaus. And first he was something like simple laborant, it's called, the assistant who help with making photos, for instance. It was said that he was a very good artist. He was able to draw, literally beautifully draw. And it was easy for him. But in couple of years has appeared that he already taken part and even the head of interesting project. Let me to show you one of his first project. It's called Airplane Steel. In translation to the English, it's called Сталь 6, Steel 6 airplane. Now, when we see it like this, nothing seems weird. Everything is normal. Do try in another view. What do you notice? This airplane was constructed and made maiden flight in 1934. By that period, most of airplanes, even fighters, the speediest airplanes, they been flying with the speed around 300 of kilometers, like race automobile of modern age. But that one been flying with the speed around 450 kilometers, practically 1.5 higher speed. And that one was practically completely made of steel. Now, should be understood that steel it's rather heavy metal, and maybe seems like it's not quite rationally, but nevertheless, this airplane has much greater speed, and due to some changing in design that Bartini made, this changing in design good notable for those who get used to see airplanes of that period. If we compare, what you will notice, this airplane too much streamlined. Practically, there are no protruding elements, protruding features in airplane. No cockpit at all. Seems like cockpit disappeared. If we come back once again to previous photo, it's visible that cockpit ever protruding over the surface, and of course it's creating inconvenience for pilot, especially while takeoff and landing. But this is not only inconvenience for pilot while takeoff and landing. Look at the landing gear. It has the only ever wheel. No, not couple, for instance, here and nothing at the tail, like supports, like the sticks. Just the only wheel at all. And due to some changing of design, due to this extreme streamliness, diving the cockpit inside the airplane, and using of new materials, Bartini has reached unusual performances of this airplane, unreachable for that period. It was something outstanding, but it was not the worst. He decided to change design of anti-icing system, and this airplane, whether it's joke, whether not or not, do think as you'd like. This airplane is considered like the very first airplane of stealth technology. On one hand, it was made with in order to cool the engine and some In contrary, like we have problem of icing the wing, for instance, and flying controls. And in some cases, we need to reduce the temperature of oil, for instance. Or in contrary, we need to increase the temperature of oil. No, we have a system of, they are called radiator, system of heat exchange inside of airplane. And what Bartini made, instead of traditional scheme, he used, no, it was something like double skin, double metal skin, twin metal skin, very thin, of course, and some amount of water, of hot water. It came from this heating exchange system. It came inside the wing, and while take off, it looks like this airplane starts steaming from wing. Steam has appeared. And do you imagine that, no, how people describe it, what they take off of this airplane, start of this airplane was looks like at all. Additionally, what they made, they use some half transparent materials in some elements of the airplane instead of steel, and they also covered the airplane with sort of amalgama. It's something similar to the mirror that you could use to see. And at the bottom, it was at the bottom. It was not so obvious until airplane does not take off. Do you imagine people who watching this airplane? It started the engine some seconds, and airplane creates the cloud of some mist, whether it's steam or something like this, has appeared the cloud of mist. You hear the sound, and the airplane disappear. No one see it. This effect was reached by means that I'm already said, and even while testing flights, in order people understand where is it, it has accompanying airplane usually flying not far from it, in order people may understand that it's really somewhere here, like airplane, for instance, commissions that should make some records about it. They need to understand that airplane somewhere here present, and together with this airplane, they have something like flying evidence in the air. It was one of the first ever strange of his project. Once again, it was fighter, and fighter of unusual high speed. After this, he was he take part in project of another airplane. This project was, no, what do you see right now? It's flying boat, and this flying boat also was made of stainless steel, and it was not just flying boat, but it was for Arctic, for polar areas. And one of unusual elements here, it's not visible. It's used on one hand some ducted probe in the wing. Here, not much visual visible, but what is visible, people? Visible, it's tandem probe. Look, one is here, another is behind of this sort of cockpit, but literally this probe is ahead of the wing, and this probe is behind of the wing. And he made it on purpose. Why he didn't place it, for instance, two probes somewhere on this side, or two? It's one engine, but two probes whatsoever, if even two engines. Why he didn't place it in conventional scheme, in normal scheme? Maybe he checked it before by their theoretical calculations, by some simulations, let's say, or some theory. Maybe it was his intuition, but he insisted on such a scheme, and he insisted the scheme will give increasing of the lift, in the lift of the airplane. And really, it's somehow similar to what we have been talking already not one time, effect of Kanda, when changing of downwashing of top surface of wing resulted in increasing of lift. We already talked in patio at least about the increasing of lift capacity, of lift wing capacity due to using of boundary layer effects. And this effect of increasing of lift due to downwashing with tandem wing, it's even officially named in all over the world. It's named effect Bartini. This effect Bartini, it's effect of tandem prop ahead and behind of the wing. At the first time, it was used in middle of 30s in Soviet Union in this airplane, which was reconnaissance airplane for polar areas. No, reconnaissance, it means more observation. It's not for spying for someone, but observation for ice. It's maybe used for rescue operations and so on. And what was next? And next, he was sent to the jail. Not because of his work, not because he was Italian baron even, but because while his work, he has a lot of contacts with our like highest military officials, and that was a period when these people, like some lines in government, let it be, they struggling between each other. And time to time, it was like Syria of arrests, of taking to the jail of different people. And maybe if you if you know something about history of Soviet Union, we have some periods like 33rd, 34th year, 37, 38 year, when practically the whole top level of military officials was destroyed practically. They've been sent to the jails, they've been killed, they've been announced like spies and so on. He wasn't really a spy, he wasn't really an enemy or some against the government, for instance, person. But he was announced as Italian spy and sent to the jail. But to be frank, it was not jail with cutting the trees or something like this. At that period, we have intellectual jails, and in particular, Bartini been working in the same jail with another very famous designer, Tupolev. They've been sitting in jail and working as airplane designers. They continue their work, and together in their collaboration, they even created interested airplane additional one more airplane well-known TB3 that we have seen like together with Bartini it was developed airplane which we seen some minutes ago like flying circles with parasite airplanes. Well, and after some years of his successful work, I'm afraid already to touch something here because I do not understand what else maybe disappeared. But it's about your airplane. That is one of airplane of Bartini, famous airplane. It was a bomber and it was strategic bomber of extremely unusual scheme. Actually, name of this airplane is like it does not belong to Bartini. It's Yermolayev airplane considered, but really this airplane was developed in collaboration, let's say, with Bartini, and that one. ДБ, it means strategic bomber, дальний бомбардировщик, far long distance bomber, like this, approximately from our languages. And you see the wing, this unusual wing, and the same unusual wing was in his flying boat, this so-called gull wing or seagull wing. Now, for that period, this bomber was also outstanding by its flight performances. It was not typical for strategic bombers of that period, and its appearance was not typical, let's say, for our strategic bombers of that period. If we compare, you will see either a biplane or monoplane of straight wing, and that one, it's too much different from our typical airplanes. And after he was sent back from the jail, let's call it like this, he chose not to come back once again to Italy. He has such opportunity, but he didn't come back to Italy, to his noble family. He stayed in Soviet Union and continued his work. And it's appeared that he is not only interested in design, but he has a very interesting idea. It's appeared that he is also physics, theoretical physics. He has developed theory which somehow in line with Einstein theory, with relativist theory. And I will not try to retell main ideas of him because it's really the physics of higher level at all. It's about how to say it. He called it spatial time continuum, and he insisted that all the constant on the values of our material world, they may be actually transformed and expressed in the constant, in the units of either time or space. And all this, it was not just simple theorizing. It was all this was supported, explained, modeled with high level of mathematics. And he was considered like a very interesting scientist, and he was also philosopher. But despite he was known as physics, he was unknown as airplane designer. His articles about physical problems, they've been issued in our serious magazines about scientific problems, but no one knows that this man is a designer of airplanes. Because, as I already said you, he was secret designer. No one announced him as designer. And what is next? Next. What? Here is. No, that is tragic photo already. What? Here is the VVA-14. Vertically taking off. No, if we translate it to the English, vertically taking off amphibious. Вертикально взлетающая амфибия. And this VVA, it was extremely unusual airplane, even by its appearance. You see, not describable what it looks like. And in order to be able to land softly to the both to the ground and to the water, it has on one hand the landing gear, typical landing gear, but fuselage was not so similar to the flying boat, as you might see. And even this fuselage seems like doesn't touch the water when landing. Why? Because Bartini has proposed in flight they really not appear, of course, but while landing gear he has proposed the special they are called floats made of rubber, elastic one. They appeared immediately, like retractable landing gear, but they appeared from this sub-fuselages appeared immediately before landing. And that is visible in our slides in picture. What those floats before landing, they appear out of these places. And actually, Bartini has considered this airplane as experimental plane. They may be sent to the serial manufacturing, they may be used, but he considered it as experimental one in order to prove, to make proofs of some of his theories and what he dreamt about actually and what he has developed. Finally, let me to show you. Here is what the whole theory. Maybe I'll even place it in slides. I hope. Yes, да. The whole theory of airplanes that he drawn. he thought about development of them. At least the sketches of these developments been found in his table when he died. He died practically like died here in some days, and he was not much old. No, yes, he was already 75 when he died, because it was 1974, and he was already in serious age. 75, it's not little, no, rather long life. And there are sketches made by Bartini and Syria family of devices he has proposed to design. Some of projects he even completely designed, not this one of projects that he completely finished in design, I will show you, but he didn't succeed to produce it, never, ever, because again, technological problems of that time. He completely finished design, but it was technologically not possible to produce that airplane. And one of its the most interesting and dreadful, as for me, projects that is flying airfield, flying air carrier, and I may try to impress you only with photos and also with some capacities of this airplane. I will try, at least. No, to pay attention, it comes about different airplanes. You see, they are a bit different in amount of engines, in positioning, and in general composition, some of tail unit group and so on. But idea of those airplanes, of those vehicles, was lifting high cargo to the not high altitude, and transportation of these huge cargoes onto big distances, long-ranged vehicles, which flying not so high, using this ground effect, and they were able to lift huge cargoes, as I said you. No concepts we might see. Maybe see concepts. Yes, that one, by the word, that one is the same VVA. As I already said you, why I placed this photo, why I have picked out this photo. Because it's visible how Bartini thought to realize vertical takeoff actually in this airplane. What we've been talking today about vertical takeoff due to the additional engines. These additional engines, so-called takeoff engines, now you see the inlets for them in the fuselage. It's around 12 takeoff engines because it was really heavy airplane, and a couple of cruising engines only, you see. Once again, it was amphibious plane, but of extremely unusual scheme, because it's not amphibious in the fuselage at all. It don't mean to touch the water while landing or while takeoff. Only supported by either these floats, elastic floats, or if it's start from immediately from ground, then it's supported by normal landing gear. You've seen it. Wait a second. Now, this dreadful airplane. I thought I took more photos of them. No, you need to understand that is the last project of Bartini, that all those things, they are concepts. What that is, this flying airplane, and simulating, let's say, model, how it may looks like. And to pay attention, here is three, what to compare it with. One of photos show comparison with huge sea vessel. We will see it. Three decks, you see, somewhere near the water line, да? Three decks and airfield on the top. But I said it was designed, no, at least concept was designed as flying or floating, in case it's rested on the water somewhere near the coast, flying or a floating airfield, like air carrier, where are airplanes. airplanes are hidden in this huge blended body, supposed to be hidden. Let's see. That is the photo of Bartini himself in his at his home. Wait a second. No, here is it's visible. The concept of placing, hiding of airplanes. And they are not little airplanes. It comes about strategic bombers of that time. Hiding of airplanes inside this blended body. And when it comes about fighters, it was possible, no, at least as it's written in articles in literature, it was possible to hide some of fighters in some decks, and it comes about more than dozen of fighters in this case. And now we see the picture that demonstrates the whole family being proposed for such flying or floating airfields. And here is the comparison of concept, not that is the largest one, comparison to the real air carrier. Practically, it's like half of air carrier. What and no, here is inner arrangement of them. And what did I said about the some flying decks? And these flying decks are already not with bombers but with fighters. Так, that one we have seen, and until we terrified with this information, supposed to be a video about Ekranoplane. And one more interesting work of Bartini also I'd like to show you. Wait a second. I'd like to say what were the characteristic of it. And for this, I need to refer to one place. Not to this place, certainly. Here is about his no, Bartini A57. Bartini A57 we will see. Can't find it right now where it disappeared. And the cargo, as far as I remember, you do remember what I said? Take your attention to the no, hold it in your attention, in your memory. Mria able to lift 640 tons. 640 tons. The airfield being developed by Bartini, at least as a concept, it was not developed as design project finally. That one was able to carry, to lift 5,000 tons. The heavier ever airplane now involved, the most capable airplane involved by now, it's almost 10 times less capable than airplane been designed by Bartini, been developed by Bartini, and it was developed in 60s years of previous century. The airplanes of Alexeyev, they, what this Caspian Monster, там, Orlenok for troops, and another one, they has appeared later, almost 20 years later. They've been designed and been manufactured and been in use, but they has appeared much later. It's like someone cursed me. I can't find it. Whatever, instead of what I need. Так, I'm not sure that it's possible to show you, but at least I may try to show you in a screen of my phone. Wait a second, how to share the screen? Oi, it's new interface. And we will see it. I hope it will be visible for you. No, phone is visible. That one. Oh, do forgive me. It will be not good visible, but I hope it will work. Uh-huh. No. Once it gave me to see it, and now it doesn't show me. Animation, I didn't find something in another place in internet. Forget about TikTok. Sorry, I'm not in TikTok. I'm not in wherever at all these networks. Do forgive me, and it means that it don't like to collaborate with me. You see, it have shown this video for me, but it's not agree to show it for you. What and what I'd like you to show and what I'd like you to talk about, it's this airplane also. That one, whatever realistic we will see it, it's the airplane that I said was never constructed. But on no on motives on the ground of this airplane, on this work as to this airplane, on concept, on calculations, on aerodynamical tests, and so on. Next was grounded the work of Tupolev. Do remember, Martini and Tupolev spent a lot of time together in the same jail. So maybe they exchanged with ideas even after, because after they spent so much time together and been even involved in development of the same airplane, of course they have some exchange with ideas even in 20 years. This airplane name is A57, and 57 means that it was designed, finished in design in 57 years of 20th century. Do you imagine? It's half of century ago, even more. And such sophisticated advanced design, you see. Bartini has developed supersonic, heavy, and far-ranged, long-ranged bomber, strategic bomber. Uh, Extremely unusual design, even not been repeated in 20 years, in 30 years, you see. Look at what here is. We might see what it looks like. And not much falling to the order of this movie, or much interested in its explanation of this main explanation, because it's about perspective and about how to use it, mostly not about design. And animation, as I said, I has prepared, wait, disappeared. Sorry. No, it's not the one. It's about Loon. Да, вот Top Secret Soviet Bomber Project. That one. And that one I may even send to you because it was in English. What here is it's animation. But do imagine it's once again trying to show you. What now we see this. Of course, it's animation. As I already said you, this airplane never been really created. And even already this airplane, it was of blended body, it was supersonic, and it was about to use this ground effect also. And next it will be explanation of Americans. How they afraid of this airplane? No, practically the most interesting we have already seen the animation of flight and general appearance of this airplane. Now you see how it's landing, and you see it's amphibious plane. It may start and land to the water, and it may start and land to the ground. Wait, let's. Uh huh. it's necessary to stop it at all. And what I'd like you to be interested in this idea about this heavy lifting device at all, and idea of Ekranoplanes. And when preparing to the to class, I have found also some interesting moments, and I think it's not a surprise for you, but I was surprised and maybe pleasantly surprised. Some scheme like this, some photos, and even at YouTube, that must be, no, not this. This one I also would like to show you. Here is Bartini A57. You see, when it's too much of different places, it's too difficult to control where what is hidden. No, practically the same things we have already seen. The heavy flying boat, it's huge in size, it's really huge. In case it was ever built, but it was never built just because of technological limitations of the period. It seems like Chinese airplane I didn't find. It's about the same. I forgot maybe to take it back because I have found a video about some no some snaps and some short video about this new Chinese airplane that Western country has already named. No, as I said, you computer helped me. It was some videos about Chinese flying boat of the new generation, and it was said that approximately on the ground of that flying boat, China has developed. Seems like China has developed the Ekranoplane of new generation, and this Ekranoplane is for no, obviously it's for military purposes because it's more probably it's for lifting heavy cargoes also. And in Western countries, it's already called either Chinese monster by analogy with Caspian monster that we have seen in pictures and in the video, and Bahaisky monster, no, Bahai monster, something like this. If I pronounce it wrong, no, do forgive me. It's difficult for us to repeat even sounds of your language because it's two different language. And where it was that one, да. And what I did say about the further development of Bartini work. No, you already understood that this airplane was tested flying, but never went to operating. What it's quite real structure being used, but not in serial production. And now it's in the view, no dreadful appearance actually, but such a truth. At the territory of modern Azerbaijan, and what it looks like right now, like this. The last of it, the last of this unique work of this unique airplane, uh, not far from Caspian Sea, somewhere on the coast territory, in such appearance. Beautiful, of course. Instead of this, like this. Well, and one more thing I'd like to show you. If you remember, I said you about airplanes, Ukrainian, no, Soviet Union airplane, Antonov 72, and Boeing airplane, very similar in design, both using the Kanda effect. What this is, you see Bartini A57, designed but never produced. And what we see here, look, rather similar, but not quite the same. Similar, but not the same. Which appeared almost 30 years after Bartini design was finished but never produced. And this design already belonged to NASA, you see. Only in 30 years, highly developed technologically country have mastered to construct, no, to develop, to design, and to construct something close to Bartini work, to that pioneer work that was in front of humanity, level of technology even, what he has designed. And it was designed somewhere in 18th and started launched in 19th years of this century. And of course, it's for military purposes. Of course, all our best efforts, for some reason, we apply not for the good purposes, not for the peaceful one. Do forgive me. And what I'd like you to know after this class about this type of aircraft at all, what now we see, real airplanes that been realized in real, that is not Caspian monster, that is Ekranoplane, which is called Lun Ekranoplane. That I have shown you at the beginning of class. It's of Alexeyev Design Bureau. And Ekranoplane Caspian monster, KM, it was similar but has another tail. And let me to show you Caspian monster. That one is obviously different, you see. Yes, at the tail unit group, it's quite different. Here is Caspian monster. Here is airplane, which is called Ekranoplane, which is called Loon. And one more was developed and directed to Orlenok. I hope it will understand me. No, does not understand. Ekranoplane. Here is, and that is also obviously different, as you might see, because it has another probe at all, another engine at all. It has a probe type engine. That one was developed not for launching of rockets or something like this, but anyway, it was developed for transporting the military soldiers, military troops and vehicles. Obvious amphibious plane, but this amphibious plane, in contrary to typical amphibious plane, how many times we have seen it together, I have shown you that amphibious plane need to have wing far from the water and engines even farthest from the wing in order to prevent problems during takeoff and landing. That one, this one, not that one, this one, in contrary, like they are sliding in the water on their wings, and when take off, they are sliding not much higher than the level of water or level of desert, of snow, and using this additional ground effect to lift heavy cargoes. And one more short movie about what that one. Also, it was concept of Бериевка B. It was based on Bartini work, but the same problem. It was developed and stopped in 19th years after disappearing of Soviet Union. But you take a look. Mostly it comes about animations, photos, models. Very interesting design. Somehow similar to both projects of Alexeyev and projects of Bartini. No, never been constructed, never been accomplished in metal. I really don't know to be glad about this or to be sorry about this, really. Do pay attention how many carriages, how many wheels it has. It's to imagine their sizes, literally. It's the same size or even greater than size of Mria airplane. Well, it was such excurse in the history of airplanes and in the history of weird airplanes and especially in the history of giant airplanes. You understand, I hope. What do I mean? Do forgive me for this half practical class. No, maybe at least you're satisfied that you have no some practical task to design Ekranoplane or to design something like this. Do remember this name, please, and I trust these airplanes will be popular. I should say that they are popular, but little ones. Usually for 2, 3 passengers, and these Ekranoplanes existed and they developed successfully developed by different countries, by different companies, and they are in use. But I've been trying to explain you about outstanding airplanes, about programs of so-called air launch, uh, whether for peaceful purposes or not for peaceful purposes, and about high lifting airplanes, which are actually maybe called hybrids between airplane and sea ship. No, at least it looks like this because they are not able to fly high, but they are able to float efficiently float. And as we even have seen, the concept of flying airfield was developed, but no, never realized. Maybe to our happiness, by the word. Who knows? Always maybe finish it in case we have such a weapon, whatever country. Well, see you next time. And don't forget about great scientist Roberto Ludwigovich Bartini, Italian baron, interesting person, secret avia designer, and talented physics and talented philosopher also. Weird, uh, difficult destinies, let's say, people had, and their unusual personality reflected in their unusual results of work, maybe like this.